the things that we have in this parasha, and the most important thing that brought me into Kabbalah, I was always looking for meaning of life. Why we're here? What is differentiates us between us and the animals? They get together, they have babies, and they die. So what's the purpose of all this? And I couldn't understand it until I get into Kabbalah. And actually, the main reason is it's the purpose to reveal the Creator, the light of the Creator. That's the purpose of all this world, all this universe, all whatever is all around us, and we are part of little speck of all this universe. It's to reveal the light of the Creator, and the tikkun process. It's called the tikkun process, which is a correction process. We all come with certain kind of baggage, with things that we've done in previous lifetimes, and now we come back to fix things up. If we're lucky, we fix it. If not, we add on to the whatever we already brought on, and we have to deal with it with extra baggage later. So this is the purpose of studying of Kabbalah, is to learn to find out what is the our tikkun process, what we're supposed to fix, and when we fix it, we go to the next. So if you have any questions about it, I'm willing to answer. If not, we continue for more different things into a little bit about to understand, to find your tikkun. If you want to know where is your correction process lies, you just have to look whatever bothers you, whatever ticks you off, whatever makes you angry, whatever makes you sad, depressed, whatever in your own life. That's where your tikkun is. That's the things that you have to work on. So if somebody behaves certain kind of way and it makes you angry, this is your tikkun. It's in your face for a reason. And when you correct it, when you overcome it, and it's going to stop bugging you, and it stops bugging you, then you overcome it. Then the next will come. And as more we elevate, because what it does, when you fix that part, there is no reason to show you that negativity anymore. So it means you fixed it, and then the next level, the new tikkun comes in. Because our soul, with the study of the Kabbalah, our soul built from 5 parts. It goes nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, echida. First 3 in this physical realm, upper 2 in the spiritual realm. So if you heard the term that called higher self, that's all the chaya, echida dwelling. And that's what we're trying to connect to while we work in ourselves. So if we fix the nefesh, then you have to go up, you're becoming more righteous, because when you fix the nefesh, you go to the ruach level, you become more tzaddik or tzaddiket, and you work on it. And when you finish that, you reach the neshama. And to reach the neshama, you really have to be a big tzaddik. And the Zohar speaks about Rabbi Shimon's son, Rabbi Elazar. When he was 13 years old, he reached the neshama. So imagine what kind of soul he was. Wow. Yeah. So when he was 13 years old, in his bar mitzvah, he reached the neshama. And Rabbi Shimon made a big party. It's a whole thing in the Zohar and the writings. So this is the tikkun process really in a nutshell. So whatever is bothering you, whatever goes on your nerves, whatever makes you unhappy, this is where the tikkun is. Work on that areas. All the rest, whatever makes you happy, that's fine. That doesn't need to be fixed. It's fine. It's good. Just use that to overcome the negative. And that's it. If you want to know a little bit about signs of the zodiac. Kabbalah talks about it a lot. Each sign has different good traits and negative traits. I can give you that too if you're interested in that. So I can give you a little bit. But again, this is again in very broad way, because every person is built from all 12 signs of the zodiac. But especially the month that you're born into, it represents something that you have to work with. But you build from all 12 signs in the zodiac. Because every organ, if you go through our body, it represents different sign. For example, the head represents Aries, the neck represents Taurus, the shoulders and lungs represent Gemini, and so forth. You go all the way to the feet, to Pisces, the last sign. So that's how we build. Okay, God made a lot of work to create us the way we are. Okay.
I don't think so. You didn't have a handout or anything, did you?
Handout writing, no. But if you want, you can write something. You can write things up. Yeah.
You have a pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it your book and she'll give you a sheet of paper.
Okay, so I'll give you on each sign very short things and a little explanation on it, because I want to give you more about the parasha that's coming, and there is a lot of things in this parasha that I want to touch on to help us to really understand what's really going on and how we can, because the Rabbi Shimon says, I see you have the Zohars are all that great.
Yeah.
Rabbi Shimon says in the Zohar, he says, most of the people go into the synagogues empty, and they come out empty. So what's the purpose of going to the synagogue at all? My teacher, Rabbi Berg, he was saying to us, better to go and have a golf, play golf, enjoy. Because what's the purpose? You go in there, you spend your 3 or 4 hours, you spend that 3 or 4 hours, and you come out empty. So what's the purpose? At least you enjoy with the golf game or something else. You did something. So he says there is a reason why we're doing it. And Rabbi Shimon says, because people don't know what they're doing there. So if you come to the shul and you don't know what you're gaining from it, it's like you didn't came at all. So you need to know what's the purpose of this parasha. You're coming to the shul, you made the effort, and you need to know what you're getting. And before reading of the Torah, most of the synagogues, they give him the lecture
We do
after. But the rabbi, my teacher, was saying we need to do it before the reading. Why? Because my consciousness is set what I'm about to receive. Not after the deed, before the deed. I have to prepare myself to receive this knowledge. So right now when we're gonna give a little bit of explanation about the parasha, your consciousness already, the people here, are gonna be already set. You already know what you're about to receive from this parasha. So you're coming to the synagogue and you're gonna be fulfilled. That you're building a vessel for it. But if you hear the lecture after, what's the point? You missed it. That's the idea. All right, a little bit about the signs. So if we start with the Aries, is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's the positive things about Aries is first is stubborn. It's positive and negative being stubborn with Aries, and he doesn't think twice when he's doing his decisions. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Okay. For example, when Israelites were standing in front of the sea, and Moshe told them the sea is split, and they all seeing the waves. Only one jumped in, said, "I believe Moshe." And it was Nachshon ben Aminadav, and he was head of the tribe of Judah, and he was Aries. All right? So Aries is jumps in ahead and deals with the consequences after. So that's why I put Aries, positive and negative. I'm saying them in the same breath, because another reason is I'm Aries. So so whatever negative of it, it's positive. Whatever positive is negative. So it's dual in Aries.
But you said that Aries is actually the head.
Yeah, he's doing things without thinking.
Yeah, that's
It's
kinda-
jumping it
Yeah,
ahead.
but that's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Because the head is the brain.
Yeah.
You would think that.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
if you look at the Aries
So-
people, most of them,
Yeah.
they got hit on their heads. Yeah.
You were dropped on your head when you were born.
I was dropped not when I was grown up and studying Kabbalah. I almost lost my life. You can see, yeah. So I have a reminder every time I'm looking in a mirror and I see the miracle of my face.
You
I
fell?
say, "Thank God you left me here."
Thank God.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well, Aries, they just fight like this, boom.
yeah, they
They
go
don't
first.
use their brain, they just go first.
Fall
Yeah.
in.
The biggest negative of Aries is ego, and it was the god of Egyptians. Okay, that was the biggest thing of Egyptians. They were worshiping ego. That was their thing, and that's why Israelites, before they leave Egypt, God tells them on the 14th day, 2 weeks before the Pesach, you have to pull the lamb and keep it in your home under your control. Why 2 weeks before? To keep it under your control. You take the ego under your control, and on the day of 14th, night of 14th, you slaughter him. You slaughter your desire to oneself alone. You slaughter your ego. Because God says, me and ego, we cannot be together. If you want me, you have to have no ego. That's how the Torah is. That's why it says, if you want to be successful, you shouldn't have any no ego. Okay? Next sign, it would be the Taurus. And Taurus, in Hebrew, it's called Chodesh Ziv, month of light. That's the positive of it. There's a lot of light on this month. They love beauty. They very loyal, Taurus, and they very when you put them to work, they work non-stop. The negative of it, if they get into the rest, you can't move them.
They also can't stop.
Yeah, you cannot move them. So the Rav was saying all the time to us, whenever you see Taurus, beat him, hit him, move him, always move him, because when Taurus moves, he reveals light. So he's very stubborn. All the problems that Taurus people have, mostly it's their necks. All right. So God rewarded me with both these signs, Aries and Taurus, and I have both of these issues, the face on my neck. So it's okay. Tikkun. We talked about tikkun, right? So whatever neck is bothers me, okay, I have to work on my being stubborn. So said bend a little bit. Next sign is Gemini. And Geminis, they are the best, by the Kabbalistic terminology, they are the best psychics. Because they are air sign, and their job is to connect heaven and earth. They are the best mediums, and their problem is, again, negative thing is very hard for them to focus, because they are like a butterfly, likes to jump from one flower to another, and they're very superficial above. You can talk to them with Gemini about anything in the world, but not into the depth. But if Gemini takes something, focuses on one thing, it can reach all the depths of it. It's like unbelievable what they can do.
But they have to focus.
You have to focus, yeah.
I'm a Gemini.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Now, they're supposed to be dual. Gemini are like
dual personality?
A lot of people
Check
think
out
about
the-
this. They think like dual personality. There is no such a thing.
No. Okay.
No. Again, what I said before, don't take a person as his sign, because we're all built from all the signs. Because
Right.
there is a lot of things that connected into it. It's the time of birth. It's whole chart. You're making a chart for the astrological chart, and there's a lot of things in there. So what I'm saying, don't judge the person by his sign alone. There is a lot of factors into it, built into it. Cancer, the good sign of it is very strong from outside. It's very, and by Kabbalah, it says that they are more like motherhood. They are very soft and mushy inside. They have that feeling, but they holding grudge. Don't make Cancer angry. It will remember forever for you. Okay? Don't make them angry. Be nice to them. They remember forever for you too. Okay? They never approach direct. They always go sideways. It's hard for them to face you directly. So give them that thing. Yes?
So what do I do? I was born June 21st.
June 21st?
Gemini and Cancer.
What's your Hebrew?
You have that. You have that too. You write on the cusp.
You're actually describing me.
Yeah. You write on a cusp.
Yeah.
Depending on Hebrew sign too, no?
But what's the really counts is your Hebrew birth,
Tammuz?
because Hebrew birthday, it represents the soul, and the Gregorian birthday represents the body. So, but again, you cannot have body without soul. On this physical realm, we have to have both. All right. So, again, as I said before, we always have to see everything in a bigger picture. No, not just take it. Oh, I'm this sign and that's it.
How much your birthday?
All right. Leo. Next, Leo is the king. Leos have endless sharing power in a condition that you recognize that they are the king. So if you want something from Leo, you have to come and say, please help me. You can never come from above. You come from above, you're going to get the wrath of the king. You always come from below to Leo. Okay? Again, it's a lot of pride they have, but this is not ego, it's pride. It's a different attribute. Ego and pride is different things. And they are proud because they are the king. So we have to respect the king. Virgo, we have one here, sitting here, and it's the smallest one in this crowd. My son, Daniel.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's not paying any attention.
Virgos,
That's what you think.
they are amazing with the ability to see details.
Are you a Virgo? I dated one.
They are the best. If you have some kind of production line that you want to see that things done properly, put Virgo on. He's gonna find all the imperfections. Yeah, and I've been blessed with 2 boys, and both of them Virgos.
Wow.
So I cannot hide nowhere. They always see through me. Yeah.
He's
So
more blessed than you.
That's 3 Virgo boys.
oh, well, God bless you more
And
than
a
me.
wife.
Yeah.
And a wife. And a mother.
Yeah.
Five?
But
Wow,
I'm,
man.
I'm also Libra, so he's
Is
like,
that a soul correction on your
Yeah.
Clearly.
That's amazing because Virgos, they are very smart,
Yes.
very practical.
Yes.
So you have to be behaving with them. You have to come with something that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to them, they're gonna be a flyby. Nobody cares what you say. You have to make sense to them. So you have to be very smart the way you approach the Virgos, talk to them. What else I want to say? So if you, so the issue with the Virgo, as I said, they can see the details, so they don't see a big picture. They don't understand what the big picture means. So that's why it's very important to teach them spirituality, so they can like move themselves away a little bit from the situation, so they'll be able to see a broader picture, a bigger picture, so they can connect the dots. Because when they pull them away from the thing that they looking like this, they pull them away, then you can connect the dots, and they are the best in that. That's where their psyche, the smartness kicks in. Muznaim, it's the Libra. Libra, the good of them, they love beauty. They are they're very how you say, they seek in proper judgment for people. They have that heart, justice, and sometimes because they're seeking so much that justice, they cause a lot of trouble too, to themselves and others. So not everything that you think it's justifiable in your eyes as a Libra, it's real justice. So we say, just be careful with that. And they have a very hard time to decide. You want to make Libra crazy? Take them to the store and send them choose.
You're a Libra?
No, I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
But I know a couple of Libra.
You're
Yeah.
Capricorn?
Yeah. So
Don't judge people by their signs.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't judge the people by the
Don't go
sign.
around judging people by their
No,
signs.
because I always
Yeah.
belong.
We're all of us. We're supposed to be
Yeah. I'm really giving you a little, really a tip of the iceberg, as we call it, of these things.
overview. It's
Yeah, it's very very small, but you know what we learn in Kabbalah. We have a whole book of Parashat Yitro. It's called Atat Chazeh, that Moshe Rabbeinu taught by his father-in-law Yitro how to choose the judges and policemen, and he teaches him all the knowledge of palm reading and face reading. So if you're really interested, you can get that book in the Zohar, and you have it here in Hebrew. If you can read Hebrew, understand
We have English in the front.
that you have in English, you can take that book and study through it. It's amazing about the hair, how it looks like, the colors of the hair, the shape of the hair, lines on the forehead, on the face, eyes, wrinkles around the eyes, wrinkles around the mouth, all these things, the hands that you have. You think there is no reason why we have like this. Yeah. So all these things that represent something, and if you know how to read it, you can read people and really can. The reason is to understand and help others, not just because I'm such a big guy. I know all these things, okay? And not to judge people. We'll talk about it, about the parasha. It's all this parasha. It's about it. Scorpios. They are the best signs in the.
Must be your wife.
Yes. They have amazing intuition, and endless loyalty, like nobody's business. But one little thing that they have a problem with is control freaks. So
Little problem.
So, if you have once the Rav said, if you have Scorpio and Aries married, it's a Mashiach. If they get along, so we're working on it. We're not there yet. We're working on it.
every day.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Scorpio. Very important with Scorpios, try to show them there is a way out. When the Scorpio in a circle of fire, if you take the Scorpio itself, put him in a circle of fire, he can sting himself, kill himself. If they see there is no way out. Actually, there is a mitzvah. If you see a Scorpio, whatever you do, you stop and you kill it. If you're in a Amidah, which you're not supposed to move, like you pray in Amidah, if a snake is wrapped on your leg, you're not supposed to stop. But if you see a Scorpio walks by, you stop the Amidah, you kill it, and you continue the Amidah.
Really?
Yeah. So, why is that?
I don't know.
Because snake, the Kabbalists say, the snake, he's been told to kill somebody. Scorpio kills for fun. He enjoys it. That's why he has no problem to kill itself when he's in trouble.
Good to know.
So always show Scorpio people there is a way out. Show them there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because they tend to go to that dark place. And when in the dark place, show them there is always a way out. So the best buddies for Scorpios is Virgos and Scorpios. They're the best buddies. Yeah. Then we have next one. It would be Keshet, which is Sagittarius. They are the lucky ones. They are the luckiest of all signs, and the reason is they're all the way up on top of the map of astrological chart, and they are closest to God. Okay.
What's
So,
Sagittarius?
huh? Sagittarius.
What month?
What month, Rachel?
It's between
December?
December and
November.
Okay.
Yeah.
December.
So
Hanukkah is in.
Hanukkah is in.
Hanukkah starts at the end of Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Okay.
What body part?
What body part? Sagittarius represents legs, thighs, like the thigh area. Thighs. Because Scorpio represents the reproductive organs. A lot of people who have issues, Scorpios mostly have issues with the sexual organs. So, for example, Virgos, they have a problem with their stomach, with their digestive system.
What's Gemini?
Huh?
What about
Gemini is shoulders, lungs. Taurus is the head. Taurus is the neck. Aries is the head.
Leo?
Leo is the chest, I think. Chest, right? Chest area. Leo.
To get back
Leo, heart. Cancer. Again, Cancer is very important to be careful in the month of Cancer. Because in a month of Cancer, all the cancers, the sickness of Cancer, it starts spiritually, starts on month of Cancer for people. So just on that month, not to be depressed. Not to be depressed. Because this sickness...
The next month.
Yeah. This sickness, it's not physical sickness, Cancer. It manifests itself in a body physically as a cancer, but it's spiritual sickness. And very careful on that month. Not to get into a bad place. Just keep your consciousness high, be happy for no reason.
Is a good thing about Sagittarius?
Good thing? I told you, they are the luckiest. But
What's the negative?
what's the negative? They are irresponsible.
That means they win the lottery.
Why not?
Squander.
Why they irresponsible? Because they say, anyway, I'm lucky. Things happen. Eventually, everything turns okay. So why should I be, worry about it? No. And another thing is they shoot to kill. They can kill people with their words. Because if you really make them angry, they have no mercy. They give it to you straight into your
Very
heart.
tactless.
Yeah. So be nice with them. They are fire sign. Be nice with them. Yeah.
Not name tags, signs.
Capricorn. There is any Capricorns here?
Yes.
Propaganda.
There is no problems with Capricorns.
No problems with Capricorn.
They're perfect. In every way.
What good? Okay, good thing with a Capricorn is,
You sure there is?
if there is, yes, there is. Yeah, they are the best businessmen and women.
Oh,
I thought Scorpio too. And Cancer.
Not like a Capricorn. The reason why Capricorns are good, if there is a mountain that needs to be moved, they can move it.
Right.
They have that ability. But they are very much into the ground, into the earth. They're very practical. Very, very practical. So what we learn is we have to teach them as they're young, teach them spirituality. Make them be a Capricorn of the mountains, not of the ground. Because if they are at the ground, there's no way they can see spirituality. But if they are seeing the light, the Capricorn of the mountains, they will do everything. They'll move the mountains to get there. So they have that power.
What body?
The problem that they have is it's called Capricorn crisis. When they go into the crisis, they go into the crisis. Everything becomes black. Everything is. They go crazy.
Depression.
Yeah, yeah. So they represent the sheen of the leg, and it's a lot of ego. So if people have problems with this area,
Which area?
the shin, if you have problems there, you have a lot of problem with ego. So work on your ego. Your problems with your feet, with your shins will go away.
So if you're both Sag and Cap, you've got a problem. Are they combined?
Again,
I know we're all, but it's like you're on the cusp of both.
you have to work on both attributes.
Oh, that's hard.
Welcome to the
Double
world.
the world.
Welcome to my challenge.
Welcome to my challenge. Exactly. The next month is Aquarius, age of Aquarius.
My son.
Yeah.
Must be happy, right?
The thing is, what's good about this month is this month, these people, they don't know what boundaries are.
That's him.
They have no boundaries because they are earth sign, and they are the earth, air sign. Sorry, I'm trying to say air. So they are the third column, the central column of the air, and they don't know what boundaries are, like borders. They have no borders. They break in the order. That's why it says that the Mashiach will come in the age of Aquarius, because Mashiach is breaking all the boundaries. Okay,
And we are.
and we are already in that time. We already entered that millennia of age of Aquarius. So again, their problem is again ego. So and once the Rav said, I don't understand why they have ego for. For what? What do you have ego for? You just air. It was like there I was like jokingly saying,
But everybody needs it.
huh?
But everybody needs it.
Yeah, we need it, but again, it has to be under your control, not its controlling you. That's
why
the idea.
It's so important.
Yeah, because without ego, we cannot exist on this physical realm. We need it. But again, who's controlling who? If it's controlling you, if that attribute is controlling you, you're in trouble. But if you take it under your control, then you're fine. Then you can do a lot of things, a lot of good things. That's the work actually that we're here for. That's the part of Tikkun. And the last one is the Pisces. Again, they are very good with intuition. They are very good with seeing things to the future. The reason is they are the last sign throughout, so they see the entire picture. So they see from the top to the end. If you want to know what your problems are, what your issues are, and you don't know, ask Pisces. So tell him, describe me, what do you think about me? He'll give you the entire dossier.
Or come to me.
Or you can come to her. Yeah.
Are you a Pisces?
Yeah. No, but she
She
can
just has
help.
no problem telling you.
Oh, like you.
And no
Yeah.
boundaries, right?
I know about you.
And I'm
So-
a Virgo, so I can tell you in details
Yeah.
what's your problem.
You find Pisces in as teachers.
Lucky him.
You find them in the service business.
Okay.
Because Pisces is here to serve. That's their spiritual job, is to serve. So, yeah, the problem with the Pisces, the problem what they have the ability to feel the pain of other person. And it physically hurts them. That's the amazing thing. It physically hurts them when they see that pain of the person. So they're trying to ease off that person's pain. And how they do it? They say to you, your problems is A, B, C, D to the Z. Say, this is what you need to do to fix yourself. You know what? Let me help you. And that's where the Pisces been hit the worst. Because we came here to this world to remove bread of shame. Is a called terminology in Kabbalah. What is bread of shame? I give you something that you didn't work for. And soul doesn't want it. Soul said, I want to have everything what I have, I want to earn it. It has to be my sweat and blood. So if you take my hand and walk me on the path, I'm going to bite your hand. All the Pisces need to do is show the path to the person. So this is the path, and you walk it. And if they come and beg them to take them on a path, no. Your job as a Pisces, just show them the way and let go. Even though it burns you inside. And I know about two Pisces in my family, my mother and my sister, both of them, and they always complain, we did so much for these people that they give us so bad. So of course you give you bad. Because you took from them their ability to do their tikkun. So they're getting better with that. So they tell them, okay, do this, do, and that's it. Okay? So never Pisces to walk anyone on their tikkun process.
What did you say was positive about Aquarius?
Positive about Aquarius, they break in all the rules. They have no boundaries.
Positive?
Yes. Because all the dogma, for example,
They're thinking outside the box.
they
Free thinkers.
Yeah.
They're air signs.
Artistic.
Yeah.
They're
They-
creative.
again, for them, you need to box them to ground them. Because they always abstract. They're always out there. So they need somebody to bring them down to earth. Because they're always floating in the air. Okay? Any questions about what we spoke about
No,
for
very
now?
interesting.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the parasha. Oh, you want to know about angels. Before that, we'll tell you about angels. A little bit about angels. What we learn in the Kabbalah, that we have 4 levels of study of Torah. Actually, 3. Sorry. 3 levels of study of Kabbalah. First level called Ta'amei Torah, which is taste of Torah. And to understand taste of Torah, it means when you're making a food, cooking something, and if you not add some spices, its blend has no taste. Right? So you need some spice to spark, spunk it, make it tasty. So this is called Ta'amei Torah, taste of Torah. The second level of studying of Kabbalah, it's called Sitrei Torah, the secrets of Torah. And that level, you can study only with master directly face to face, or if you really cleanse yourself so high, you're going to have a revelation, and somebody or something will come and teach you from above. And the third level of studying of Kabbalah, it's called Kabbalah Ma'asit, magic of Kabbalah. And this is completely not allowed. And the reason is, we all carry a spark, that of negativity, called Tumat Metim. As we're born, that negativity grabs on the soul. And only way to remove it, it's by death. And this was the sin of Adam and Eve. And since Adam and Eve, when it was decreed on them to the death, only by death that negativity is being removed. But when the temple was working, the Kohanim, they had the ability to remove this negativity off. Well, they were doing the washing of their hands and their feet together. They were putting hand on the foot and they were washing it off, doing the tilat yadayim and raglayim together, and they had the ability to remove that negativity off. And they were doing all this Kabbalah Ma'asit things, all this magic of Kabbalah, to give you a little bit of to taste, to understand what they were able to do. The Tanaim in time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his friends, they were able, the easiest thing, like there was a assembly of 70 elders in the Bet HaMikdash, and to be allowed in, you needed to go through 70 different tests. And the easiest test was to look at the person, kill him, and resurrect him.
The easiest.
Just looking at the person.
Okay. Wow.
That was the easiest thing. So from here you can think about what kind of powers they had. Okay? But this is what's able to do only when the Bet HaMikdash was working. After the destruction of the second temple, you're not allowed to. Because whatever you do with that is the consequences. Even though you do this for helping other people, still consequences. Like for example, Arashash, Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, he was a Yemenite rabbi, and he's a huge Kabbalist, and he was living in Yemen, and every Shabbat he was doing in Yerushalayim. We're talking about something happening 400 years ago. So he had the ability to jump the road. Okay? So he would do the Shabbat. After Shabbat, it's back to Yemen. Again a whole week, and then Shabbat. Before Shabbat, he was in Yerushalayim.
The frequent flyer.
Huh? The frequent flyer, exactly. And he was doing it not for his own fun. He was doing an amazing thing. He was doing.
Yemen is in northern Africa. So you're talking about.
If you look at the map, it's lower than Egypt, down to Arabia, that area.
No, it's Arabia. It's south at the bottom of Saudi Arabia.
It's impossible. Put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too far.
Even with the airplane today, it's going to be very hard to do. And he was doing that road in a few seconds. I had no problem with that.
You were Skyping,
Yes. Yeah. So, and he was punished. He was punished. His wife became blind. Yeah. Again, he was not doing it for his.
I think it was her punishment.
Yeah,
No.
our punishment is.
Why didn't he become blind?
No, but when and it says it says that blind person is considered to be dead. Yeah. Then it's very hard to understand why. For example, blind person never can fulfill his belly. He never felt like he fully eaten. And why is that? because you cannot see the food. Because we see we eat with our eyes too. That's what fills you. I'm full. I'm good. All right. So that's why it's considered blind person considered to be dead. So that was his punishment. But again, I'm bringing it up just to tell you that how much is not allowed to do. Like a lot of people, they do amulets, special amulets. They want success in business or success with have this woman or this man. All these different crazy things like magic. They go to different people and doing different blessings. Don't do that. Don't do that. You want something? Work on it hard. Pray for Hashem, and Bezrat Hashem, you're going to be granted. Because the hardest thing for us sometimes to say that the answer is no, or not now, not today.
Not
right?
this lifetime.
Yeah. God always answers, and sometimes answer is no. And for us, it's very hard to accept the answer no. I want it. I said no, not good for you. All right, so let's continue with the angels. So there are different kind of angels, and the angels were created for a certain purpose. Angel is not a guy with the wings. There are some of them with the wings, and some of them without. So when we pray, if you had a Kabbalah Siddur, sometimes some different Sephardic Siddurs that I've seen, they show, but not all of them. It shows how you elevate in different spiritual worlds. Because the prayer, it's called Tefillah, and it elevates you to a certain place. And in a different level, there are different angels. So the lowest level of the angels is called Ophanim. And then above them, there are Chayot, like animals. It's called Chayot, it's like animals, but again, it's Chayot HaKodesh. And another level, it's called Srafim, which are very powerful angels. Srafim come from word lisrof, to fire. They are fire. To burn. And there is angels called Kruvim. As we know, on the ark, there are two baby-looking like angels with the wings that they are facing each other. They're called Kruvim. And all these angels, they have a purpose. They have certain jobs to perform. They perform the job of the Creator. And if you're really, really interested to understand about angels, the best place is to read in Cheskel. It gives whole description of these angels. And there is angels of Merkava, which is the holy chariots. Right? So they're different angels. It says about angel that they have 6 wings. Certain angels, they have 6 wings. He said with 2 he covers his legs, 2 he covers his body, and with 2 he flies. They never fly, and the angels do not fly in a Superman manner. They fly standing up. Like you stand up, they fly straight up. Okay. Again, angels are being created by the Creator in the beginning, and being created every day by us. By us. Every good deed you do, you create an angel. God forbid you do a bad deed, you create a negative angel. And again, angels, they're not entities, physical, the way we can. They are spiritual being, a consciousness. Every doorway that you come in Jewish household, you have mezuzah. It's an angel. If you take the Yud out from Shin Dalet Yud, if you take the Yud out, it's a bad angel. So it says it's so important to check the mezuzah, that mezuzah is kosher mezuzah. Because if it's not kosher mezuzah, you have two bad angels on your doorway. It says, Al petach chatat rovetz. On every door frame, there is a negative angel that's standing, that he has permission to harm. So if he has permission to harm, that's why we put mezuzah, to take his energy out. That's why bo'achal shalom, you come with peace. Tzedcha shalom, you go with peace. But if the mezuzah is not kosher, these two negative angels the Zohar says that these two negative angels, they put hands on this person's head and cursing him. So it's, God forbid, it's a lot of bad stuff. Zohar goes through it lengthily. Yes?
Would that be true of tefillin also?
Sorry?
Would that be true of tefillin?
Yes. The tefillin, I have a really, really amazing story about tefillin. I was part of my job in a center when I was working with in a center. It was in Kabbalah center. I was checking to mezuzot and tefillin for people, and it was we were doing it in Borough Park in a very, very orthodox place with the sofer over there, and I was telling him different stories here, and so we got very friendly. So he tells me, listen, I have an amazing story to tell you. So what happened? I said, 2 weeks ago, somebody came, and he told me, can you check my tefillin? So he said, I opened his tefillin, the hand tefillin, and I'm going through whole writing, and one word missing. He came with his wife, this chassid. He's sitting, his wife sitting in the hallway, and he's talking to him, so we're waiting for him to check in. He said, and I see one word missing, and the word is rechem, womb. So something hit me, he says, in my head, and I turned to the guy, to the chassid, and I said, do you have any kids? And the wife listening in the hallway, and she burst in cries. So what happened? He said, we are married over 7 years, and she gets pregnant and she loses it after 3 months. Gets pregnant, loses it after 3 months. So he tells him, I see your problem. What's your problem? What's the problem? He said, your wife doesn't have a spiritual womb. You're tefillin, you're missing a word, rechem. He said, I made him a new tefillin. I met him after some time. He said, remember the couple I told you? They have a ben zachar, they have a boy.
That's cool.
Amazing. That's why it's so important, because it says the Torah, if it's missing one letter, or one letter is less or more, or broken or something, that Torah is invalid. Whole Torah is invalid. Okay, so it's very important, because it's in Hebrew, the word has two meanings. It's called milah, word, and it's called teiva, which is box. Every word in Hebrew has two explanations. Milah, which is a word, and teiva, it's called box too. A box. So what the box means, it's a box of energy. And if that box is broken, and it's missing a letter, or broken letter, or something, that box, it's not full, it's not whole. It makes the entire Torah not whole. So the Torah is invalid. So the Rabbi Shimon says, in the time of Mashiach, when it comes, I found them only one remedy to protect them. It's a kosher Torah. So it's very important to know. You have a Sifrei Torah and you have to periodically check that they are in a good shape. everything is okay, all the letters are okay. Because sometimes it says, Rabbi Shimon says, sometimes Torah makes itself invalid. Because Torah is consciousness. So he said, why Torah would do that? Because Torah, it's called Etz HaChaim and Etz HaMavet. It's Sama Chaim and Sama Mavet. It's a drug of life or drug of death. So, if the congregation and in the wrong consciousness, people have a wrong consciousness in that congregation, the Torah makes itself invalid not to cause them death. Because you can kill it. So that's why Rabbi Shimon says, I found them, that people, on that time, when the Mashiach will come, only one remedy to protect them, it's going to be a kosher Torah. That means that we have to be in a proper consciousness, being on a sharing consciousness. Like we go, I'm going to tell you a little bit some things about the parasha, and we'll conclude with that. But it's important. When we're going to sit there and tomorrow on Shabbat and listen to the Torah reading, and we're going to get all this awesome energy that we get from Torah, what I'm doing with it, if I'm thinking about only me and myself, my little me, and I'm not thinking about others, and I'm thinking about others, people, non-Jews, the entire world, this is our job. It's Jews, we've been chosen. Right? It's called chosen people. Am Segula, Mikola Amim. And how much blood we bled through the history about this? Right? But nobody's asking the question. Chosen for what? Yeah, we're chosen. We're chosen for what? And Torah explains it. Mamlechet Kohanim or Legoim. Our job is to fulfill them with the sustenance, with the spiritual sustenance. So if I'm sitting there in the shul and I'm praying and I'm listening to this Torah, I'm not thinking about other people, other nations that fulfill them with the light and the energy they need, I'm not doing my job. That's why they hate us.
Wow.
Why do you think where the origins of anti-Semitism coming from?
I've always wondered what that started with.
It's because of us. We're not doing our job. Our job is to fulfill them. During the Sukkot, we have a Torah reading of sacrificing of 70 bulls, oxen. Okay, starting first day with 13, next day 12, next day 11, until we fulfill 70. What is all about?
70 nations.
Exactly. There are 70 nations, and our job is to fulfill them with that light, with that energy. And when you fill them up with their energy, the vessel is full. There is nothing to fill it with. It's full. That's it. It doesn't need anything else. So you give them the energy to the entire year, so this way they can be at peace with each other. But if they're not full, they're missing the energy, what they do, they attack each other, because they need to grab.
So what is the method that all that's supposed to be done?
Thought process. I'm sitting there, I'm listening to Torah reading, and I want to send this energy that I'm listening to entire world. Fulfilled all the people of the world.
Through me.
Through me.
Every
one of
gotta
us.
change too.
Yeah. So you sit in there, like people get aliyah, right? And I don't know what's the system you have. People bid on the aliyot.
No.
Like I'm going to the different places. It's just Faradim, they bid, and then so because I'm going to that shul already for some time, they already know. Because I get up, I say what's flying in this parasha or this aliyot, what's going to be. So they always come sometimes and ask me what's coming. So they want to bid more, outbid others, because they want to be there. Okay, that's great. That's great. It's better income for the shul. Okay, it's a better income for the shul. That's great. But again, you go in there, you go into Aliyah, you are becoming a channel Because the mitzvah of Aliyah Torah, everyone was supposed to go get Aliyah. The mitzvah is everyone was supposed to get Aliyah. But because we're going to have only 7 men go up, these 7 men are taking care of the entire congregation. So their consciousness is to be, I want to be a shliach because I'm looking at the letters of the Torah. When the reader reads it, he has to see it. And all the congregation will hear the reader. So we have to see it and we have to hear it. It's chokhmah, bina. That's the connections of over the spiritual realms. And so it's very important that person that goes up to Aliyah, he wants to be a channel, thinks about being channel, not, I'm going to get all this awesome energy from this Aliyah. All right? It's not just me. It has to be always others. And as more and more you think about others, as more you get. Imagine I have a candle, okay? We all have a candle in this room, candles, okay? And only my candle is lit, okay? And yours not. So, in this dark room. So I come and I start lighting up your candles, all of you. We're going to have a lot of light in this room, right? Did my candle lose anything lighting up your candle?
No, it gained.
I gained more.
Right.
From one little light that I had, I gained all this light. So that's the idea, same idea. As more you give, as more you get. Because in Torah, in Hebrew, when you say to share, to give, it's called Natan. And you read it left to right, right to left, the same way. So what you give, that's what you get. So when you're doing it tzedakah, when you're helping somebody, it says, who's doing who a favor?
The one who gives.
You.
The one who gives?
One who gives.
One who gets or one who gives?
The one who gets it do you a favor because he accepts your giving.
Exactly. So a lot of people, thinking, I helped this poor person. No, you didn't help that poor person. You helped yourself. Because there is 2 things that God says that you can test them. In tzedakah and in maaser. Do you imagine? Test the God. God said, Ubachanoni. You can test me in 2 things. In tzedakah and maaser. Tithing. Maaser, it's tithing. So,
What's the difference between the two?
Okay. The difference is like this. Tithing is when you make your monthly income and all the taxes, everything off, whatever net left, you have to get 10% out of it, you have to give. Between 10 to 20. You have the ability to give between 10 to 20. Not less than 10%, no more than 20. When when you're thinking about to be in maaser. And tzedakah, it says tzedakah tatzil mimavet. Tzedakah will save from death. So we don't know, none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in the next hour. We don't know when we're supposed to check out. And what is we done, that there is a decree before time to live. Rabbi Shimon writes in the Zohar, 90% of people that die before their time, it's because of negative actions we do. So most of the people, they don't get their life, fulfill their days, because they really didn't. They did something. Imagine just you were talking to somebody and then you give them a cold shoulder and turn around and go away, and that person it created in a heaven a huge judgment of death of that person. All that I do was just turn and go away. And what? I did deserve death for that? But what you caused that person, it was like death for him. So death for death. So what God says, mercy of the Hashem, He sends you a poor person. Somebody comes, can you give me something? A penny, $1, whatever He gives, you give something. So that person, you saved him because he was hungry, he was about to die. So you put that penny, the last penny, and he put it together for his burger and goes and buys that burger, eats it, and he has another day to live. And you save his life. Life for life. So we don't know what's in our future. God knows, and He sends us these poor people to do tzedakah with them. But Maaser, He said, Ta'aser leman tit'asher. He said, Maaser, I'm going to give you a blessing when you give tithing. I'm going to give blessing to your money that you would be able to buy more. So what means buy more? Let's say you made $1,000 and you have to give $100 your tithing. You're left with $900. God says, I'm going to give for that $900 that you're left with, blessing that you would be able to buy for $1,200. Is it a bad deal? He said, try me. God says, try me. That's the only... And it's amazing, like when we had the fields, like the Shemitah. You heard about Shemitah laws, right? It's crazy. Like on the 6th year, you're going to be having enough.
Someone's at the door.
Huh?
No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not at the door.
On the 6th year, you have to stop for on the 7th. And then on the 8th year, you're just going to start plowing your land. Only on the 9th year, you're going to start having your fruits. So almost 3 or 4 years, you have no sustenance. And he said, God says, trust me. I can provide. We read it last week in the parasha. Moshe was telling God, like how, people won't eat meat. How we can provide them all that meat? All right? He said, how we can provide them all that meat? And he said, is the God has less? Is the Yad Hashem tiktzar? So God says, I have a short hand. I can give endless. You worried about that? Okay, a little bit about the parasha. Angels, I think I covered mostly. Again, one of the things I want to say, angels are they are very judgmental. So that's why Kaddish, when we read Kaddish, saying Kaddish about somebody, it's in Aramaic. And the Zohar says angels don't know Aramaic. And say, what do you mean? We know about Yosef HaTzadik, angel Gabriel, the night before he had to brought before Pharaoh, he came and teach him all 70 languages, because the test was, to know all that languages. And it says Pharaoh had his throne. To get to Pharaoh's throne, he had 70 steps. And you would walk the steps, how many languages you talk. So Joseph came up to, when he came to see him, he came up all the way to his throne, to his chair. And he said to him, you have to give me your chair. I know another language that you don't know. And he said, I know Hebrew. So one of the languages that Gabriel, that night that he came, he teach him Aramaic too. So how you say angels don't know Aramaic? Rabbi Shimon asks the question. And Rabbi Shimon answers. Whatever you don't use, you forget. So angels not using Aramaic, they forget. Gabriel, for that time, he'd been taught the Aramaic to use it to teach Yosef, and he not use it anymore, he forgot. So that's why we have the Kaddish in Aramaic, because angels don't understand what we're saying to God. God knows all the languages, and we're telling God his soul was good, it was a good person, so please have mercy on his soul, help him out, and So there is if you're interested in some spooky stuff, I can recommend a book. It's called...
Lucy needs this.
No, it's amazing stuff. I love this stuff. What happens after we depart from this world? A lot of people want to know what's going on. So There is a book called Haruchot Mesaprot, Minchat Yehuda, Haruchot Mesaprot by Rabbi Yehuda Levi Ptaya. And he's giving a description over there of souls that not even merit to go into hell. There is something worse than hell. Kafakela. So these souls, they do possession on the bodies of people and like become possessed. And this Rabbi Yehuda Levi Ptaya, he was correcting these souls. So he was communicating to them, talking to them, sending them to his rest. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, it's amazing. And it's from our tank, not from different professors and psychologists that they got. You have authentic thing what happens when the person dies, and the minute that he dies, and what it does to the soul when they do kaddish on them, when they are in the hell. There's a lot of things. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, it's amazing.
In English, right?
It is in English. Yeah.
What is the name of it again?
It's called Rachel. Huh?
Spirit talk.
We'll
say the
Aruchot Mesaprot, Minchat Yehuda, Aruchot Mesaprot, by Rabbi Yehuda Levi Ptaya, Moshe Levi Ptaya.
Wait a minute. I'll start slow.
Aruchot Mesaprot. Aruchot Mesaprot, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I guess you don't have much time for the parasha. All right, few things about parasha. All this parasha is not to judge. What happened with the spies? They judge they do lashon hara, they do motzi shem ra on Eretz Israel, and that's why they've been judged and punished.
What in English?
Huh?
What did they do?
They judged, and they did evil speech on lashon hara on the land of Israel. So it's not to judge, and we don't have time because I would go explain about this. It's a crazy thing about they were all tzaddikim, they were all head of tribes, and how 10 came up with a negative and only 2 came with positive, because 2 of them, they did something. Yoshua, Moshe changed his name, and his name was Hoshea, and Moshe added into his name Yoshua, Yud, and that was his protection against negativity. And Nachshon, he said, I have no protection. Yoshua has protection from Moshe. I have no protection. I need help. He went to the graves of the tzaddikim, of our fathers, Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, lay there on their graves and prayed and asked their help, their support, and they supported them. So I would go more into an explanation, but there is a big Yud in this parasha. It's called, in a word, Yigdal. Yud, usually it's the smallest parasha in Torah, but now he has enlarged. And this is connection to the month of Virgo, that Yud is created, by the Kabbalistic terminology. Every, God created the universe through the letters of the alphabet. So Yud is representing the Betula, the month of Virgo. And in this, again, Virgo is all about judgment. Okay? So it's to help us. This Yud will help us. It's enlarged. It connects us to Binah, to the spiritual mother of where all the energy is. And so with this Yud, it's going to give us the protection not to judge. To always judge positively, for the good, not for the bad. And there is another thing, there is Etz. Moshe is telling them, when he's sending them, he said, check if there is a tree in the land or not. So I said, what do you mean tree? Why do you need to know? But you send them to a land of milk and honey. There's going to be no tree there. So why is asking them for a tree? So he was asking them actually to see if there is a tree of life there. What that means, tree of life, he wanted to test them where their consciousness is. Because God's telling him, Shlach lecha, send to you for Moshe. Because God knows what's there. He said, but you sent to you, because Moshe wanted to know if there is a tree of life in the land. Because if you would, Moshe would enter, he was representing Zerampin, the spiritual realm. Like if you go with the Magen David, you have 6 points. And in the middle is Malchut, is this physical realm. So the spiritual realm is, it's not that David HaMelech, he had a shield in a shape of Star of David. It's called Magen David, protecting, shield of David. Okay? So the spiritual world is shielding this physical realm. That's why Malchut is in the middle. So this physical realm is in the middle. So he wanted to know if Moshe would enter, it would be a revelation of Mashiach, and be so much light, it will come down to the level of Moshe, and rest of the people, they would burn. Yeah. Because it says, when the Mashiach will come, the sun gonna become 7 times more, and the moon gonna become like a sun. So it's gonna be a little bit hot in here. And Vegas is gonna be even more hot. So we need a protective shield. Okay? Alright, so that's what I can tell you for now because of the time. But you remember the big Yud, I think is, and we have, at the end we have tzitzit. At the end of the parasha we have about tzitzit. What is tzitzit is all about? What do you think? Hi. What the tzitzit is all about?
The mitzvahs.
Hmm?
The mitzvahs.
Yeah, but what is tzitzit?
Protection.
Remember?
Exactly. It's our bulletproof vest.
Oh, okay. Our shield.
Don't take it literally.
Okay? That's our bulletproof vest. Because we always, men, we need it, women don't. Because women much stronger spiritually than us. Okay? So men, we need the tzitzit to protect us from all the negative entities that surrounded us, that attacking us, that want to get the light from us. So we don't want to give it up. So that's the tzitzit. We're going to get the energy of protective shield with the tzitzit at the end of the reading. All right, so see you. And I hope.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Did you find Rachel? What the book of Minchat Yehuda? What's the name of it in English? Rachot Misaprot.